Welcome to Tuesday Night. I'm MC Toon. You know, for years, flat earthers have filled bathtubs full of tears because they don't have a map that works. They've tried the azimuthal equidistant map, but Australia looks ridiculous and no flights would work, and it doesn't match sunrise and sunset directions. Awake Souls and Limitless tried one where the equator was wavy all over the place. That was ridiculous. And it teleported you. That's silly. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Daznez had one that was in the shape of a diamond. I don't know how that fits with his Bible version, but it seemed a little silly there too. Well, and of course, Arwen uses the Mercator map. You may, after this, you may find a new appreciation for the Mercator map. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do what no flat earther has the guts to do since Tiger Dan. I'm going to show you a flat earth map, and it's going to be based on observation. Sorry, I caught myself. Observations. I gotta be serious. Specifically, observations on the equinox, and it just so happens that yesterday was the equinox. So what better day to celebrate a map based on observations on the equinox than on the day after the equinox? So I am going to show you how it's done and what flat earthers don't have the guts to do. I'm going to start by showing you this. Here is, let me fix that so that you can see it a little bit better. That is, that now I tested, I confirmed the right way to pronounce this. That's Aranaku Island in Kiribati. Kiribati, they say, not Kiribati, Kiribati. There it is. Now that is in the Pacific Ocean, and you may notice it's right on the equator. Now midday, somewhere around midday in Kiribati there, in Aranuka Island, the sun is rising in Indonesia there at Ganggo Hilya in Indonesia. So at sunrise at Ganggo Hilya in Indonesia, the sun is due east. At the same time, the sun is over Aranuka Island in Kiribati. So that means that the sunrise being due east, well, that means that they must be on a due east line there, just between those 2 points, at least. Now let's move forward here. Sometime around midday in Ganggo Hilya, Indonesia, it's sunrise at Nanyuki, Kenya, who also happen to be on the equator. And it's due east for them as well. Since it's due east for them, that means that the line from Nanyuki, Kenya to Ganggo Hilya, Indonesia must be a straight line due east. There's no choices. You don't get to say that it's not that, flat earthers, because as soon as you do, you have just violated this very basic observation. Now, sometime around midday in Nanyuki, Kenya, it is sunrise in Macapa, Brazil. And it's due east in Macapa, Brazil. That means that it must be a due east line from Macapa to Nanyuki, to Ganggo Hilya, to Aranuka Island. A straight line due east. This is based on observations that anybody can make. If you disagree with these observations, feel free to go to any of these locations on the equator on one of the days of the equinoxes, you get to a year, and see if indeed the sun rises due east. I think you will find that it does. Now, somewhere around midday at Macapa, Brazil, it is sunrise in Quito, Ecuador. And the sun rises due east in Quito, Ecuador on the equinox, meaning that it must be a straight line from Quito to Macapa. You don't get a choice on this, flat earthers. That's the way observational reality is. And then, of course, on somewhere around midday on in Quito, Ecuador, is sunrise back over at Aranuca Island in Kiribati. And that means that it must be a straight line from Aranuca, Kiribati, to Quito, Ecuador, to Macapa, Brazil, to Nanyuki, Kenya, to Gongohilia, Indonesia, and all the way back to Aranuca Island in Kiribati. There is no option for this. You don't get to say nuh-uh, because that would be obviously wrong. This is observational reality. Deny this and make a fool of yourselves. If the Earth is flat, this must be what the equator looks like on the equinox. You don't have a choice. I don't know how it would work. It seems like you may need to have some Pac-Man effect going, because I don't know how many Quito Ecuadors there are other than the one. So how is it that the sun can be rising and setting due east, rising due east and setting due west on all of these locations throughout that one day? And they must be on that line. There's only one Quito, people. There's only one sun. And teleporting, well, that's a bit of a problem. But that's the problem that you flat earthers must claim in order to remain flat earthers. Because this is observational reality. You don't get to nuh-uh this away. So now that's one observation on the equator. But I did not address what it looks like outside of the equator. So let's do the same thing. Let's look at what happens instead of on a line of latitude, the equator, on the equinox. Let's look what happens on a line of longitude on the equator, or sorry, a line of longitude on the day of the equinox. What does observational reality tell us about it? Well, let's take, and this is a Mercator style or an equirectangular projection here. May or may not be correct. We will find out. But we know that on 20 degrees east longitude, I mean, it shows that because it goes all the way down to the southern edge of South Africa and all the way up to Norway. So this is one of the most well-covered lines of longitude on the Earth. Well covered by land. And of course, you could go south to Antarctica if you wanted to confirm any of this. But this is easy to do. Anybody that lives in this vicinity could just go there that day or phone up somebody on the day of the equinox and see if these observations match. Of course, you all know they will. No flat earther would ever be that gullible, would they, to try to claim that the sun doesn't do what we know the sun does on these days. So here is what we're going to examine. And we do know, I already covered, the sun rises due east on the equator. So at 20 degrees east longitude on the equator, the sun rises due east. Well, let's check it out here in the middle of Europe here on the 20 degrees east longitude. It also rises due east. Now you see there's a problem. We've got two suns, but in reality, there's just the one. Well, let's keep going. Well, turns out that everywhere on the line of longitude, 20 degrees east, the sun is rising due east for them, and that rises at almost identically the same time. Oh dear. How many suns can there be? Well, in reality, we know there's just the one, and any claims of holograms or projections or anything like that must be backed with evidence, and we know you don't have any evidence of that. Just making the claim doesn't satisfy the evidence. So what could it possibly look like to satisfy the necessary observations that are easy to confirm on the day of the equinox? Well, there's a problem. Well, let's look ahead here. We know that in Sweden and in Norway that the sun rises due east. And so this is from dateandtime.com or one of the online things. Now you'll see that it angles up a tiny bit. The reason why is because this is showing the direction of the top edge of the sun, not the geometric center of the sun. That's all that was the option for this website. So if you actually look at the geometric center of the sun. So when the geometric center of the sun is visible, it is not slightly north of due east, it's right at due east. And then same thing for South Africa. Same thing, due east when the geometric center of the sun is first visible. So we've got this little bit of a problem, and here's the solution. This is the only possible shape that the 20 degrees line of east, line of longitude, can possibly look to satisfy this one simple observation on the day of the equinox. You don't get a choice on this, flat earthers. This is observational reality. This is an absolute necessity. This is what your, well, it's not a pizza land, is it? It's only half. It's kind of a C for cookie, isn't it? This is what it must look like. So it's not a pizza land, flat earthers. It's this. It's the letter C, at least for that line of longitude, at the moment of sunrise. Now, what will it look like at the moment of sunset on that very same line of longitude? Well, it must look like that, because the sun sets due west for all of those points along the line of longitude simultaneously. Again, you do not get a choice on this. This is how your flat earth must be shaped in order to match this one observation. One observation is it. So that means that from sunrise to sunset, your flat earth must somehow undulate. It must. You don't have a choice on this. This is what your flat earth map must do. How does it do it? I don't know. Obviously, that's a challenge, isn't it? Now, you might wonder, well, how does that work on a globe? Well, it's not actually difficult at all. If you see there, this is not the 20 degrees east, but it is some number of degrees east longitude, and we can see the terminator line between dark and light. And you can see very clearly that the sun's rays will be coming on the globe nearly parallel, almost parallel, very close to parallel. And if you want to do the math on it, unless you need that precision, you can treat them as parallel. And that's how the sunrise would look, because everybody along that vertical line there would experience sunrise at the same time. And they would all see it due east at the same time for sunrise and due west for sunset. That's how it works on the globe. But for flat Earth, this is what you must have. You don't have a choice, because you don't have a plausible explanation for how sunlight might travel in any other way. You don't get to say it's a hologram without evidence of it being a hologram. You're going to have to actually put on your big boy pants and figure out how it works with a plausible mechanism. Or, flat earthers, you could just grow up and understand that this actually works. So there it is, people. I provided you with what flat earthers won't do. This is your equator. It must look like this. And this is what sunrise and sunset must look like. And the earth must undulate underneath in the course of only 12 hours, somehow moves thousands of miles and misshapes itself. Of course, the rest of the lines of longitude must also do it simultaneously. Some sort of a domino looking thing where part of the earth is curving one way, part of the earth is curving the other way. And as the sun moves along its Pac-Man teleporting path for you, which is an absolute necessity, the entirety of the earth must be undulating underneath it. It's an amazing model you flat earthers have to live with, but you don't get a choice. You don't. You can whine and complain, and you can make up all sorts of excuses. You can try to claim all sorts of things about holograms, about light paths, about it's just a light in the sky. None of that actually works, because this is not kindergarten, right? The things that you say are going to be tested, and they better be ready to stand up to the test. And if they're not, be mature, accept that you were wrong, find some other explanation, test it. And when you run out of all the explanations, when you've tested everything, don't hold on irrationally to some ridiculous belief about the shape of the earth when you have no evidence for it, when there's nothing that actually matches reality. You don't get a choice on this. Observational reality tells us things and we must follow them. We don't get to interject our own decisions into it. When it contradicts our own wishes, we must be honest, we must be rational and follow the actual evidence. Thank you for that, people. I did that. I will probably put that recording like that on my my Conspiracy Tunes channel as it is. So that's why I just jumped in and started going right through it. So I have a couple other things to cover today, but that was the well-prepared portion of it. Thank you for that. If in case you're wondering, that first part was brand new today, and that second part with the curved shaped Earth, I've done twice before, and never on this channel live. I did it once on really small channel, and I mirrored it here one time. And the second time I did it on the Tune Show, the SC Tune Show, against when I was talking with Rachie 50, who said that she would come up with a response to it, and in a year and a half has not. So, the Rocket Couch. If the Earth is a C and it's extra big, does that make it C++? Oh, nerd jokes. Gotta love the nerd jokes. So anyway, I've they don't have anything. I just love to make them squirm because they don't, there's no response. What are they going to say? So, all right, let me look here. I got some super chats that came in. I see Spin for 199 says, "Don't disappoint us. We're here for evidence." Well, I gave you the evidence, didn't I? Well, I gave you the observations applied to a little bit of armchair cartography. You know, it's funny. There are no flat Earth cartographers. There are no flat Earth geographers. There are no flat Earth seismologists. There are no flat Earth meteorologists. There are no flat Earth, well, almost anything in science. Right? Can you imagine a flat Earth astronomer? There are none. There's all this entire field of flat Earth and then something that just doesn't exist. None of them are like, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to take my high-end STEM education and be the one flat earther that does cartography. No. There's no cartographers that are flat earthers for a reason. Because when you make a map and you'd make it wrong and somebody uses that map, there are ramifications for it. They live in a fantasy world where they say that their goofy flat earth dirt pizza is reality. But of course, there's no consequences for saying that because nobody uses this for navigation. They even will say that this is used for navigation, but it's a blatant lie. They can never show where it's used for navigation or how to do it. So that's the difference between a flat earther and everybody else. There are consequences for the things that we say, and we take responsibility for them. So, Kentucky Jerk. Kentucky Jerk. Oh, I missed this one. I'll go into this. PG Tony for 10 Australians says the world's flattest and straightest stretch of train track lies between Kalgoorlie and Takurla, Australia. Measured length 1,080 kilometers. Spherical distance estimate 1,051 kilometers. And what is the flat Earth cartography distance? They can't even produce a mechanism for giving the distance between 2 points on flat Earth. They can't even do that. Like, how much more of a throwing in of the towel can there be than not even being able to present any mechanism for predicting the distance between 2 points on their dirt pizza? Nothing. Nothing at all. All right. Kentucky Jerk, here he comes for $5, says MC Toon, on a scale 1 to 10, is a 11 destroying flurfs? Oh, well, thank you. MC Toon is a metalhead. Are you a fan of This Is Spinal Tap? Of course I'm a fan of This Is Spinal Tap. I listen to all my music at 11. And all the drummers I've ever known have exploded. FDFE, if there is an accurate flat earth map, I'll delete my channel. Sorry, Craig. I just made the one flat earth map that's accurate. I mean, there's a whole lot of other problems with it, like the undulating earth that's necessary. But I don't know. Sorry, bud. Facty says for $2.79 Canadian, does the sun rise earlier on Lake Titicaca? So it's got mountains though around it, especially I think it has mountains to the east. I don't know. It probably would, if it did have mountains to the east, it would make it rise a little bit later, wouldn't it? String News 1 says, I know the sun is a line source. It could happen, a line source. I mean, we laugh about the Daznez and Awake Souls Limitless and an Arwen's Mercator map because it has the teleporting sun, but really there's no flat earth map that actually could even begin to start with just the one observation without Pac-Manning. Right? It's a necessity. A Dr. Nimrod has been a member for 9 months, says ahoy hoy. Well, ahoy hoy to you too. Plane and Walk's not here, but I'm sure he would ahoy back to you. Round Ball Defender has a super chat for 99 cents. Thank you for that. And there's no message with those, but I do thank you for that. Ableus says there are no flat earthers with brains. Well, stick around until 10 o'clock tonight and you will find out for sure. So I do have a debate at 10 o'clock Central Time, which is just over 2.5 hours from now, with Mr. Lost Knowledge on TikTok, or he goes also by Mr. Flat Earth. Very creative. And I'll give you a spoiler. This Lost Knowledge, he never had any. Sorry. Layal says the C-shaped look reminds me of CC from Westchester County. Top left. So, about that, people, on my channel, CC is winning over Flatzoid. What's going on? CC is winning over Flatzoid. Let's see. Industrial Nerd, who made that excellent video, says, Toon, what are your opinions on the buttermilk shortage in Westchester County? Hashtag CC for buttermilk. I have no idea what you mean by that. Oh my gosh. Poor CC. All right, people, you got to go vote for Flatzoid. Come on. What are you doing? You can't let CC win. Not on my channel. I mean, let CC win on Craig's channel, but not on my channel. It's got to be Flatzoid. Go watch Flatzoid every day. An Industrial Nerd, this means war. You're going down. That CC video is hilarious. But the Flatzoid one, that's good too. You got it. Oh, I got it wrong. Oh man, what he said. CC's wife started a petition. All right, the Toads in My Eyes for $5 says the only accurate flat Earth map is a projection of the globe, but you unwrap it back into a spheroidal shape. That's right. I just love when they're like, oh, this is the map, but it says projection right there. They put it up on the wall behind him. It says projection. That, and Harry R. Eicher makes a video pointing at it. Right where it says projection says it's not a projection. Yes, it is, you dummy. All right. Delete Laws says, as an alpha male, I approve of your live streams. Well, thank you, Delete Laws Chili Castro. Chili Castro, whatever. I don't watch a lot of his stuff, but man, that guy is a mess. What an absolute mess he is. Oh, Icy Spin for $5. For $2 says, can your map explain magic bendy light? Well, no, that's the thing that I left out of that map. Right? This map requires magic bendy light. The map I used requires magic bendy dirt. I mean, it's one or the other. Which is more difficult to do to explain? I don't know. They're both impossible. How about that? Yes, Judy, I know that's the fake Delete Laws. So, you know what? In May will be 5 years since my first post on the Flat Earth Society forum for the flatearthsociety.org, and then I also did over on tfes.org. Two versions of the Flat Earth Society that are at war with each other. And as I was like kind of wrapping up my posts there in, I don't know, late 2018, I'm like, hey, Flat Earthers here, join me. We can together create a map for your Flat Earth world. And this is what I actually presented in text. And for some reason, they didn't love it. I don't know why. I'm trying to solve problems. I'm a problem solver for you guys, Flat Earthers. I'm solving your problems. You should totally jump on board. I don't know. They didn't like it. All right. Industrial Nerds, yep, CC for buttermilk. And we got NANA says we've checked. It's not flat. Tab, and then metal hand. Where'd it go? We got Round Ball Defender said, glad you got the t-shirt. So there it is. Look at this. I got a shirt from, must be Round Ball Defender. I won't say your name unless you want me to. But so there it is. It says MC Tune, and then at the bottom, it's got the let me make sure I can see what I'm showing here. There, and then at the bottom, it's hard to read. It says proving globe while schooling flirps. So thank you there very much for that one. And while I'm talking about things that I got in the mail, Delcos Man sent me this. I'll cover up his address here. Sent me this. That's how it came. And he didn't explain what it was. He said you're going to need an explanation. So this is what I got. Right here. This here. And it's a receipt. It says traveler and approval tag, and it's dated 8/13 of 90. 90. Like what? What is that? Well, and then there's this. That's not what is important. That's not it. It says it's a resistor. This is for the resistor. So this is a resistor. I'll pull it out so you can see it. So here we go. Hopefully I can get this out without losing it. It's not very big. And I have a, oh, come on, there it is. I have a multimeter. I could test its resistance. But there it is. It's tiny, and that's not going to focus because the camera's not set to autofocus. But there it is. It's a resistor, and I'm like, well, what is it? He said it's a resistor for NASA's Telestar satellite. Of course, this one wasn't on the satellite because that one probably doesn't exist anymore unless it's still orbiting. So that's what that is. It's kind of a cool little thing. This was designed for NASA to go on a satellite, a very specific thing. I'll measure the resistance of it and see what it says. So anyway, thank you for the shirt. We got Dave Kirchner says if CC wins over Flatzoid, I call you got it wrong. oh man, if you haven't watched that video, the Flatzoid voting video, when Flatzoid, I, he's trying to convert. He lives, all right, in 1970, 71, early 70s, South Africa switched to metric. He's born after that. His entire life, the country he lives in, has been metric. In a live stream, he had to Google how many meters in a kilometer because he did not know. 1,000. I didn't have to Google that. And he's like, I gotta check that because you got it wrong. Yes. The rest of that is him not getting absolutely, he got everything wrong about this project he was trying to do. It was ridiculous. It was so funny. String News 1 says Witsit for top left. Yes. See, he's top and CC's left, right? It's who has that perfect mix of top and left, right? Because Witsit is so overconfident. The confidence that Witsit has in his complete idiocy is in orbit. On the other hand, CC is just dumb so much, right? He's definitely way overconfident, but not the same caliber as Witsit. So which is it? Well, I say that perfect mix of top and left is embodied in no one other than Flatzoid. You just watch his live stream. He just says things, and in his fantasy world, the things that he said they just came true. He can just wish them to be, and they be. It's an amazing world that he lives in. So King Ed the Fifth says CC doesn't deserve top left. Oh, I agree. Mr. Sweet Potato is a new member at Newton. Well, thank you. Maybe we could have a Sweet Potato Newton, right? All the figs get all the Newtons. Let's end that. Let's make a Sweet Potato Newton. It's a weird, wonderful life for £5. Says Witsit is so insecure, you know, he's the only one upset at being nominated. Yeah. And what a narcissist. What an absolute narcissist. Oh. And so if you followed the transcontinental triangulation and the American arc of the parallel, which I'm going to be bringing up in a little bit again, is a survey across the United States. And they did a whole bunch of the typical things that surveyors do. They measured triangles and distances to find the precise distance across the United States. And in the process of doing this, when they do these triangles, they found hundreds of triangles that sum up to more than 180 degrees. Specifically, there's 172 triangles. And I know this because a couple weeks ago, I asked for some volunteers to do some data entry and some programming analysis of the transcontinental triangulation and American arc of the parallel. And I did get some, and the data has been input. And oh my goodness, is it wonderful. Oh no, I'm sorry. There aren't 172 triangles. There's 172 reciprocal zenith angles, a different thing, something that is in the works still. The number of triangles, we haven't gotten there yet, but there's a good number of them. So thank you to that group. When it's all done, I'll name them all and thank them all. But thank you guys. Amazing work so far. Well, Witsit has claimed that all these specific things have happened in the book, and he's like, well, I'm going to do the math. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to show where this happened. And of course he hasn't. He looked at it a little bit. He didn't understand it. He needs them to have faked things. Therefore, he declares that they faked things. That's it. He didn't actually find any place where they faked things. He just imagined it. Similar to how Flatzoid speaks things into existence. Witsit has spoken things into existence in his own fantasy world. But the reality is that that's not the case. And I have done the analysis. So get ready, Witsit. I've done the analysis, and I know you haven't. All right. PhD Tony for 5 Australians says there are no winners in anything involving flat earthers. There are only bewildered and traumatized witnesses for the committal hearing. One of the survey points in the transcontinental triangulation is named Insane Asylum. It truly is an insane asylum, and it still exists today, serving that same purpose, to the best of my knowledge. So yes, maybe that's a place that they could all go and have a little rest. And the nice little men with their white suits can come take you away. Haha. Lael says, by the way, the answer to concern about the sunrise. There are some people still traveling to find the sun. Are they traveling or driving? Thank you for that, Lael. Lord Luminous Pooh says, my girlfriend was begging me. Give it to me. I'm so wet. But it was my umbrella. Naughty. I get that double entendre. I do enjoy the double entendre. Anna says, MC Toon, the only problem you haven't solved is sending me my cube. I know. It's right here, though. Let me taunt you with it. Ooh, the cube. I have 2 of them. I bought one to replace it, and then like the 13-year-old that I am, I didn't even send it to you. I will, honest. The check's in the mail. And that's how you know when an American is lying. An old joke. I don't get it because I'm not old enough to get it, being I'm only 13. So, now I'm not debating a flat earther. How is it that I can solve a cube? I actually do this while I work. I have, for years, I've always had cubes near my desk at work. So while I'm thinking about stuff, I do this. Let me do it quick here. I don't want to get too long in the tooth on this. Yes, and I need to send King Crew his book, and I need to send a can of Tab to Raiden Gowden's Raber. Oh my goodness, I'm getting that wrong. Sorry. I'm focused on the cube. I'm blaming the cube. Gowden's. So somebody's talking. The Sun Express says, is there some evidence that Psalms to something useful vis-a-vis space frisbee land? I can't wait. All right, I need to book Psalm. I need to see if he's ready on his relativity talk. It's gonna be epic, no doubt. Next week I just confirmed. You're gonna love this. Chris Van Am. Now, if you've seen Chris Van Am on my channel before, you will know he's an absolute mess. I can't believe he wanted to come back on. It did not go well for him, and he was bragging today, trying to claim that I was scared of him. There you go. And I said, well, let's do it next week. So it's going to be next week. And these TikTokers, they don't want to leave TikTok. I'm like, okay, I'll just live stream it to YouTube. So that's what's actually happening tonight to Mr. No Knowledge. I mean, Lost Knowledge. It's going to be on TikTok and here simultaneously, so you don't have to go anywhere. So, all right, let me get back to this here. Pete Dubovsky. Sorry if I got that wrong. Says MC Tune for middle right. Well, thank you for that. I'll stay middle. I'm fine there. I'll do my best. Mr. Sweet Potato, man, I do like sweet potatoes. And my favorite pie is sweet potato pie. That's it. Says, the recipe I use for sweet potato pie includes mace. Not the mace that's the stick with a chain and a lumpy ball. And not the mace that you spray in the eye of a flat earther that's stalking you, but the mace that's the husk of the nutmeg. That mace. Anyway, Mr. Sweet Potato says, when Lincoln said you can fool some of the people all of the time, he was specifically referring to flirfs. I think you took some liberties there, but thank you. It's totally true. Skid Mark McGee. Skidmark McGee, you won the internet today with your name. Who has been a member for 8 months. Says, Witless pisses me off the most. Witless for top left. There are a few that they anger me so much I can't watch. Owen Benjamin. I basically can't watch him. He makes me so mad. Like, I would debate him, but I'm not gonna seek him out because it just pissed me off so much. Yeah. I can't say the things that I would want to say about him. Can't. But if you're reading my mind right now, yep. Virillion says there's just as many millimeters in a meter as there are meters in a kilometer. There are, but don't tell. Yeah, he had to convert millimeters to meters too. You didn't know? PhD Tony for 5 Australian says the area of a spherical triangle is a direct function of its spherical excess. Indeed, it is. It certainly is, and I have delved into the trigonometry for it. It is, and the functions dealing with the spherical excess and the angles in the sides. There's a handful of them, and they're involved, and I like the trig. I do enjoy the trig. I think arc cosecant is in it, if I'm correct, or inverse cosecant. It's on my website, mctune.net/se. The function that if you're given the angles and the 3 angles and one of the sides and the spherical excess, well, you don't need the spherical excess. It's derived from the angles. You can get the radius of the surface that spherical triangle is sitting on. So you can actually get the radius of the globe just by measuring one spherical triangle, as long as you know the angles and one of the sides. That's all you need. That's it. Amazing. James Hogarth says, did you watch any of the modern day debate Witsit nonsense last week? I did watch some of it. And I got to where Witsit lied, which was right when he started talking. He lies so much. And I watched the part where he responded to the transcontinental triangulation. And again, that's all lies. He specifically claimed that they start with a regular triangle and then convert to a spherical triangle. That's an absolute lie. They measure a spherical triangle, and then for some of the things that they do, they need to use it as a regular triangle. And you do that by getting the spherical excess, dividing by 3, and subtracting it from each of the internal angles. And that's in the actual book. The process that they do is in the book, showing how that's done in that specific direction, spherical triangles to planar triangles. And he had the guts, the narcissism, the pathological liar in him was happy to lie and claim that it went the other direction. Witsit. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So yes, I did watch some of it. I'll watch more, but yeah, it's tough. When he just lies, like I just want to be there, and I just chew him up. The Sun Express says, oh yeah, I already read the one about Sam and vis-a-vis Space Frisbeeland. Flatzoid got it wrong, says, has been a member for 12 months. 12 months of derp, here's to another 12. Azimuth. If you've been a member for 12 months and your name is Flatzoid got it wrong, you've changed your name in the last 12 months. Thank you for that. Lael says, if you were to measure the vacuous chamber between its Earth would be greater than 10 to the negative 17 torr. Yes. And Witsit's head, you mean? Oh. He just makes stuff up, and the people, they just parrot him. Oh my gosh, they parrot him without even thinking about what it might mean. Lord of Luminous Poot said, told this on Fights, but Captain Kirk tried starting a lingerie line But Shatner Panties was a bad name. Oh my god. Shatner Panties. Oh my gosh. Yes. By the way, if you're wondering, these glasses are my older glasses. My newer glasses, this is what they look like now. Just so I ordered new ones, but the bow fell off. Actually, that happened a while ago, and I went to a glasses place, and the guy fixed it, and but they fell off again. I'm like, I better. Flatsoid got it wrong. Says I may or may not be Pat in the chat. Well, Mr. Not Pat in the chat, Flatsoid got it wrong. Thank you very much for that. Yes. All right. Shatner Panties, not a popular name. James Hogarth says, did you hear anything from Greg since your debate? Greg. There's some Gregs. There's a few Gregs. Which Greg? Greg. I don't know. You're gonna have to remind me which Greg. I've debated more than one Greg. So, James Hogarth says, oh, the Apostle guy. Oh, that one, yes. From last week when I was on. So last week I was on Christopher Enoch's channel. Christopher Enoch is he has like an online church service thing. That's his deal. And he does flat earth debunking too. So his church is not to my particular style, but I do appreciate his flat earth debunking. And he asked me to come on and debate somebody. I said, you bet. So I've done that 3 times. Last time was the best, I think, because it was the best maintained, and Christopher hadn't hosted these kinds of debates before, so I think he's kind of getting the hang of it a little bit. He could definitely fill in for James on modern day debate. Actually, Greg and I we didn't really need to have a moderator much, so it was pretty good. But no, I haven't heard from him. He has not done what he said he was going to do, and that's standard operating procedure for the Flerfs. During a debate, I show them something like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I'll look into it. And then they never did. I'm still waiting for Rachie 50 to present the map that she was working on. I already did the work for you, Rachie. It's got that undulating C shape back and forth. I mean, that's your map. NA says sweet potato is just as bad as pineapple on pizza. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Have you ever had sweet potato pie? Have you ever had? All right, I'm gonna ask it. I'm gonna go with a poll. Have you had sweet potato pie? And I do have another thing coming in a second here. I'll work through the rest of these, and then I'm going to jump to that. So we got the Sun Express said sauteed chicken thighs with mace is excellent, by the way. That sounds good. Yeah, mace isn't quite the same as nutmeg. It's similar. So if you run out of nutmeg and you have some mace handy, you can put it in your eggnog. Just saying. It's not as good, but it'll do. But it's a little different flavor. I like it in sweet potato pie. Slithery says, I've just read the change log for the new core utils and discovered some new words. The new Rona, Quetta, SI prefixes for 10 to the 27 and 10 to the 30. Rana or Rona? Interesting. Yeah. So the SI prefixes, right? So kilo is 1,000, and that's all that matters. No, there's others as you go up farther. So yeah, that's interesting. You've got, gig, tera, peta or peta, yada. I don't know them offhand. That's cool. All right. We got Toad in my eyes says pineapple and jalapenos on pizza. Yes. Oh, I do like that myself. I do like that. And then Lael says, is there any new news about John and Mallory's relationship? No. But John is in a boxing match. He's training for a boxing match. I think it's April 1st So go find him on Facebook, Jon Snow. He's working on his boxing match, and it's a reality show. So like the training and the different people that are going to be in it are all part of this reality show. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can watch it. I don't know where it is. I'll find out and share it to you. So, okay. I have two more things. Number one, I have launched a podcast, and our very own Industrial Nerd was on for episode 0. So season 1, episode 0. I should have started with season 0. Sorry, programmers. Actually, it didn't let me. In the podcasting like hosting stuff, it lets you choose. It says this is a season version and a season number, and you got to pick the number. It did not let me pick 0 for the season number, but it did let me pick 0 for the episode number. So Industrial Nerd was episode 0, and we just talked for an hour and stuff. It's on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, bunches of others. Pocket Cast. I don't know. I put it on all of them that I could. So search for The Toon Show. I would love it if at least you know, don't necessarily listen. Just play it when you're not listening. That's I would love it if you did. If you're interested, I've put on some of my old debates. I won't put all of them probably, but some select ones, some good ones. But more importantly, I'm going to be doing pre-recorded exclusive for the podcast content. So I did see episode 0 with Industrial Nerd, just us chatting. And then last week on Sunday, I released the one where Eric Burns, who is a master's degree student who's about to graduate with his master's degree in astronomy. And he went over the methods that we use to measure the distances to stars. Very cool stuff. I knew roughly how these worked, but he went into more of the details. Very good stuff. So find it on your favorite podcast hosting platform. If you can't find it by searching for The Toon Show, let me know, and I'll see if I can get it on that platform. I have had trouble on Spotify. You can't find it necessarily on Spotify, but if you go to my website, mctoon.net/podcast, you can find the link to Spotify. Or if you just go to, and there's a search bar on my website, search for podcast, and you'll find it there. I haven't linked it off the main page yet, but you'll find it there. And I also have a channel on YouTube for it, and YouTube has this new thing where you can do a podcast, which means that if you don't have a YouTube Premium membership, you can listen to it when the phone screen is off. So you want to listen to it that way. There are videos on there, but I'm trying to choose debates that might be a little better suited for not being on video, but debates tend to be best on video. So it's hard to choose one that really fits. So anyway, yeah, let me know if you can't find it. Best to do Facebook or Discord would be the best places to notify me, or email if I'm a little, it's hard. Emails are tough. I get a little backed up on emails. So, be aware. Sometimes I like, it'll be a while before I respond, and sometimes it's just like, thanks. So, that's one. Number two, is this week. This week is National Surveyors Week. And I didn't know about this until Larry Scott told me about it, and Jesse Kozlowski also notified me of this this thing. So I didn't think about it. You don't think about it. Surveyors have interesting jobs, right? I've worked my whole career in an office, and yeah, it's easy to say, oh, I want to be outside all the time, and yeah, that's cool, unless it's cold or windy or rainy or in a remote area, or there's ticks or mosquitoes or gnats or flies, or it's just not super awesome to necessarily be outside all the time. So surveyors, thank you for what you do. I appreciate it. And I'm going to read a couple passages from some things, but I'm specifically going to thank Jesse Kozlowski, the main surveyor, Larry Scott, Barron, who is on TikTok, he goes by Arizona Surveyor, David Brock, at the University of Alaska in Anchorage, who did a video on the Toon Show with me a while ago, and then Jason S. I'll leave it there. Those are the surveyors that I have communicated with in this community. Thank you, guys. You've all helped me a lot. Right? Your job is measuring the Earth. And so who do you go to figure out the shape of the Earth more than surveyors? Well, it's tough. They are specially trained, specifically skilled to do that exact task. And those people, those 6, have in varying amounts been very gracious with the amount of time that they've given me to explain things to me. So for example, this book here, Surveying Practice. I've not read much of this book yet, by what's his name? Kissam. This is an older book that's a kind of a standard surveying book that a lot of people look to. It's a great, apparently a great book. Larry Scott said that this was a good book when I mentioned it to him. I have another book that's the book that they use in the university at the University of Alaska. I bought the book. I have the book. I've read a good amount of that book. And when I run into things that I don't understand, these surveyors have been generous with their time to explain it to me. So thank you to them. But I have a little more on that topic. In there's a book called A History of the Determination of the Figure of the Earth from Arc Measurements. It was published in 1906, I think. And in the book, it talks about when people were going to go to both Peru and Lapland is Northern Europe. They were going to go up there to do some surveying work to determine whether, or this is in the 1700s, to determine whether or not the Earth was a sphere or an oblate spheroid. And I want to read this little bit. This is their efforts to go up there, right? So they first went to Stockholm, and while there were presented to the King of Sweden. From thence they proceeded to Tornio at the mouth of the Tornio River at the northern extremity of the Gulf of Bothnia, arriving here in July 1736. And so Jesse Kozlowski actually sent me this thing here. Let me jump down. There's a spot here where it starts. So here it is. Either this plan of triangulation must be adopted. That's, going up to a Lapland. Or they must go south to some favorable point in Sweden. It was decided to attempt it, and they made a beginning, not knowing whether it would be possible to establish a good system or to measure the baseline that would connect satisfactorily. Now, measuring a baseline is physically measuring the length of a baseline using chain or rods or steel bars or something. It's very time consuming. They go many kilometers with this bars end to end, chains end to end. The difficulties they encountered were enough to stop the work of any but those filled with an enthusiastic spirit of scientific investigation. For of conveniences they had none, camping on the mountains, affording poor lodging and poor fare. The mountains were steep, wooded, and difficult to ascend, while the rivers and streams traversed were filled with rocks and rapids. Prevailing fogs delayed them sometimes for a week, and the flies or gnats, which appeared in swarms, formed such an intolerable pest that the only way to be free from them was to sit in a thick smudge of smoke or cover one's face and hands with pitch. They did this to go measure the shape of the Earth. And this one, and I mentioned it, I was going to bring it up again. This is from the Transcontinental Triangulation and the American Arc of the Parallel. When they were in the Rocky Mountains. In conclusion, it may be remarked that the conditions of the weather on these high mountains could not be called unfavorable during the ordinary field season, which lasts from about the 1st of June to the 1st of November, excepting, however, the period of thunderstorms in midsummer. These thunderstorms, on account of their persistency among the high mountains, have frequently given rise to much suffering, danger, and delay in the progress of the work. They would envelop or hover around the mountains for days in succession, accompanied by the most violent electrical discharges and thunderbolts imaginable. During such times, the whole mountaintop fairly hummed or hissed by virtue of escaping electricity, and sparks a couple of inches in length could easily be drawn from any exposed insulated object. These storms would usually set in at 11 o'clock in the morning and last till long after sunset. Though no fatality is fortunately to be recorded, they proved nevertheless the main cause of discomfort and danger to the party exposed to their fury. The highly attenuated state of the atmosphere, the icy blasts during stormy periods, often accompanied by hail and snow, contributed to their share of the depressing and dismal feeling during such exposures. The experiences of the heliotropers, that's the people not at the theodolite, the people at the distant mountain shining a light at the theodolite, the experience of the heliotropers would seem to have been more perilous, for 3 of them were knocked down and rendered partially unconscious, while a tent, several signals, and a theodolite were demolished by lightning. The so-called equinoctial snowstorms, which annually break over these mountains with surprising regularity, were usually borne without concern. They arrive about the beginning of October, and though sometimes severe and followed by intense cold, they seldom caused other than mere temporary interruption in the communication with the camp below. So these people went and measured the shape of the earth, and that was their day's work. And reading the details of the survey, of that particular survey, they didn't just go up to the mountain, set up a theodolite, measure a distance, and then leave. They were at these places for days or weeks. Most of the observations include how many days they were at the particular station. Some of these were 15 days in the mountains. They were in the mountains for 15 days. And they would make measurements in the morning and make measurements in the afternoon. And not just one, lots of measurements. The way that they did it was amazing. And in the cold and in this weather, amazing work. And then flat earthers. You jerks. You selfish jerks. You come along and you look at the work that they did and you're like, nuh-uh. That's it. That's all the effort you put in to attempting to refute their actual work that they actually went out in the field and did. And you're like, oh, did you get your P1000 and take pictures over water? I didn't need to, because those surveyors did that. You didn't do that, flat earthers. There were no flat earthers amongst that crew, because the people know that the earth is not flat. It's a ridiculous thing to suggest. I mean, it's funny. It's an opportunity for us to get educated. It's an opportunity for us to come together in a common purpose. Though we all have different personal beliefs about all sorts of things, but we are unified in our hilarity at the flat earthers. So I do thank you for that. But I want to remind you, flat earthers, that it's incredibly rude for you to the real work that these people actually did. So again, I'll say thanks to Jesse, Main Surveyor, Larry Scott, Barron, David Brock, and Jason S. Happy Surveyor Week. Larry Scott says, recited like Shakespeare for geeks. Thank you, Larry. Larry has been super helpful in analyzing the transcontinental triangulation. Really, like, cleared up so many things. Really did great work. So, so Roundball Defender said, did you account for the angular declination of the electrical magnetation of optical codivergence in 8th or in your map? Sounds very much like Witsit. All right, I'm going to end the poll on sweet potatoes, sweet potato pie. Here it is. Have you had sweet potato pie? No, 56%. Yes, 43%. There it is. Amazing YouTube math. 6 plus 3. That's 99%. I don't know where the other 1% went. They must be using floor instead of round when they're doing that. The Triggered Limey says, hi all, no pineapple and pizza, good night all. Well, thank you, Triggered Limey. Triggered Limey did a video on CC, on his nomination. Go over to his channel and look at that. It's a really good one. Peachy Tony says, they should have hired flat earthers. Partially conscious is their default state of operation. True. And Larry Scott again recited like Shakespeare for geeks. Yeah. That is a well-written book, The Transcontinental Triangulation. Well written. 900 pages of amazing stuff. And the prose in there is worthy of the effort. So okay. that is what I have prepared. Jesse, so I talked to Jesse Kozlowski, set aside flat earth stuff years ago, but every once in a while he shows up because he enjoys crushing flat earth. And I love using his measurement across water of the curve of water, because flat earthers, they're like, water curve, like, oh, here it is, here's a measurement, and they just, the fits that they go into. So I've been wanting to try to take part in having that happen again. I don't know any surveyors in Minneapolis area. What if you do? Let me know if a surveyor wanted to go to a lake somewhere in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area and do a similar thing to what Jesse did, so that we have yet another measurement of the curvature of the surface of water, curvature or not, we shall find out. Then yeah, I'd love to do that. I can't hire somebody, so it would have to be somebody that has their own access to their own theodolite to use, and wouldn't mind setting it up whenever works for them across a lake. So if you know somebody in Minneapolis area, please get them in contact with me. Or if you know somebody elsewhere that would like to do it themselves, that would be fantastic as well. Jesse did mention to me a thing that he did with the main surveyor and Larry Scott that I don't think has gotten enough exposure. So Larry, I'd love to come to a better understanding of that particular thing, and maybe do something on it so that it can be used to liberate more flerfteers. Stringers one says candied yams for the win. I don't know if I've even I've had yams or sweet potatoes, sort of. Apparently there's a difference. I don't know. I've had like sweetened, like they put my mom would always put marshmallows on them, and my wife never did, and I prefer them without. I just you put the sweet potatoes in a pan in the oven. Happy Thanksgiving. That's all I need. Dave McGinley says, if CC wins, you change your name to CC Toon instead of MC Toon. Oh my gosh. No. But he'll get a shirt if he wins. Candy just means a lot of added sugar. Okay, well then yes, I have had candied yams. I mean, sweet potatoes are already sweet, thus the name. And when you go dump a bunch more sugar on it, it just makes them all that much yummier. Brown sugar is even better. I like that. A little bit of molassesy in there. Yeah, brown sugar, marshmallows. I mean, just to tell you what, just forget the sweet potatoes. Just pour yourself a bowl of brown sugar and marshmallows, melt them on top, and just go for it. Just go for it. So, all right, I have, so the debate that I have is at 10 o'clock, which is in just under 2 hours. I got nothing between now and then. So we can do what we want between now and then. Matt Patak says, Flurfs can't even top left. That's a math proof. Yeah. In REM, I want to debate him. He won't. He's like always drunk. He's so funny. InRem, IN space REM. Go find his channel. Go on there, comment and say that Toon was trash talking him and that he needs to set me straight and debate me. I want that to happen. It'd be so good. Channel raid. I don't know. Yes, InRem is a devotee of Pastor Pratt. Oh, I could annoy the Discord server. Oh my gosh. They're so tedious there. I could. All right. Oh, good. All right. I asked Larry Scott a question. He's on it. You see what I mean, people? What a nice guy. Oh yes, that's it. Yanush has it. So Yanush, dude, you want to come on? You can. I gotta close down. I have way too many tabs open. That reminds me, I need to get some tab. I need to pour myself some tab. I gotta grab that that link. So Yanush, was it you, right? That made a oh, it's so good. He took all the triangles in the transcontinental triangulation and put them in Google Maps. So you can see them on Google Maps. It's amazing. All right, I'll see if I can find it here. It's a work in progress. Right, there it is. So he has some of the locations are not totally accurate. That's a good point, Extra J. That's a good point. All right. Can I make this go away? No, go. There it is. Okay. Here is the work from Yanush. I hope I'm saying it right. I know I'm going to get your last name wrong. But this is it. This is the transcontinental triangulation triangles. And so you can see he put them all in the publication. They get the actual latitude longitude of most of them, and he even put the names in. So the insane asylum is on here. Where is I don't know where it is offhand, but we could zoom in on it and see how close it is to the top. And a lot of these names I know now because I've been working with this data. So you've got, I mean, look at this. They started across Chesapeake Bay here. I think that's Chesapeake Bay. And there's like this island here that they put it on. And these are from like 1840s. So they started back then with these triangles. And look at this. It just goes across the Smoky Mountains here, using high points to their advantage. Because a lot of these, they built these really high towers if they didn't have a high vantage point. So like in Kansas and Missouri, some of these, they built super tall towers in order to be able to see across the curvature of the earth, people. So yeah, and then you see these here where sometimes there's this short length. You see this one from 84 to 85. I don't know if this one is, yeah, probably. See, they say Holton South Base and Holton North Base. So probably this one, I don't know offhand, but what they'll do is every once in a while, they'll actually physically measure the distance with, sorry, with an actual, like meters, like rods or chains, right? So a lot of these, they're using rods, and there's 8-meter long rods that have thermometers on them. And the thermometers are so that they know the temperature, so that they can include the thermal expansion in the size. So that's what these are here. Typically, these north and south bases, and that sometimes, so that they don't get expansion from the sun, they'll actually have a tent. I'll show you this. There it is. In California, there's the YOLO base. There's two bases, the YOLO North and YOLO South. So I have some pictures of the North and South bases, and how they did the work. But the what's going on? Open up. There it comes. Okay. I'm opening up the there it is. Okay. I gotta find the right picture. Well, I'll just give you a few of them here. Here's the men. It's called the Men of the Party. Now that is a party. There's the line party. This is in California. So there it is. This is this movable tent, or they called it the YOLO buggy. And definitely that's where Jon Snow got the tattoos on his eyelids from. But yeah, they had this tent over the top of it so that the sun could not shine on the actual rods that they were using to measure the length between the two base stations. And some of these base stations, when they measured them, they compared to their triangulation, they were off by like 2 centimeters. That's it. 2 centimeters. They measure 1,000 kilometers across the country, and using all of these same measurements, they measure using triangulation the width, the length of a triangle side, and then using triangulation, and then they measure it physically, and they're 2 centimeters off. That is amazing. That's amazing. So I found this picture. I don't know. Somebody took these pictures here. There's camp near Middle Base. So there's a Middle Base. Of course, that's gone now. All these bases were temporary, but this one is cool. So this is at the Southeast Base, at the close of the second measurement. So the 35-foot brick pier, they built a brick pier 35 feet tall that has been removed, but the protecting tower has only been partially dismantled. So it's a wooden tower that was around the brick pier. And what they did is it's because they couldn't see if you're on the ground many kilometers away, they would build these towers that were 35 feet taller. Some of them were 130, 140 feet tall. And people were up on them, right? They weren't just on the ground measuring to a tower across the place. They were up in the tower. They were in the stinking tower. I have a picture. I think I have a picture from Larry sent me. Oh, no. I have it. Here it is. It's in a different folder here. This one here. Is that it? That doesn't look very good, does it? It's loading. It's loading. It'll be there. It'll be a second. The insane asylum is in St. Louis. Okay. So do they have to adjust the measurements every time there's an earthquake? Of course they do. Of course they do. All right, here's the tower. Look at this. So you got the guy up at the top there. That's the signal. So there's a distant observer that's pointing their theodolites at these towers, at these lights here. And then underneath there is a tent. And then there's a guy, you can see the guy sitting there with the little hat on. There's no railing. They didn't have, harnesses. He's just sitting there. And then you can't see it. I don't know if it's there at the time or not, but then they would have at these stations, they'd have an actual theodolite up there that they'd use to take their measurements. So cool. I mean, I love climbing around on this kind of stuff, but I think it'd get old after a while. But I think these people are like, whatever, this is just another day at the office. But good for them, amazing work, and to do that kind of stuff is quite something. All right, let me get back to. I want to show you this one though, because they leave these. They left these stations there. So let me see if I can. Yeah, so there's a modern picture. This is a recent picture I got off of Google Images, right? I went to the place at the YOLO South Base, And this is the picture, right? So there's that again. There's that. All right, hold on. There's an old, nope, that one. I have many pictures of this, many copies of the same one. There it is. So there is, I don't know, there's no subtitle to this. This was just a picture there. So it looks like an old picture, probably not all long after it was built. And then there's an actual geodetic survey marker that's embedded in it that I, did I get it? Did I get the picture of it? I don't think I got a picture of the survey marker. But yeah, so there it is. That's what it looks like after they've done their work. So, all right, let's see. Is this what I think it is? It is. Oh, if I want to play the CC buttermilk video. Oh my goodness. All right, hold on. You know, we have subject matter experts on different flirfs, and Industrial Nerd is the SME for CC. There are many options. Days are new. Days are early for selecting your own flirf to be the SME for. All right. I'm going to play this cold, Mr. Industrial Nerd. I'm going to play this cold. Will this work? No, hold on. I'm gonna have to do it differently. Grab that. Stream News 1 says the towers are proof of the mud floods. Oh my goodness. It wants me to confirm my age. Seriously. Industrial Nerd, I can't even watch it in my incognito window. All right, you know what? I see Texas Tony is here. We should get Texas Tony and Industrial Nerd. You guys want to come in? Texas Tony, my goodness. I haven't seen you for a while. And he is a goofy boy. All right, I'm gonna do it in a non-incognito window and see if that are there adult words in there? Is that why? It's okay. All right, let me get it. I have to change the window. Just a second. I'll set it up. CC for buttermilk. CC's always confused. He's just always confused about everything. All right. Yes. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna fix it. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. I'm a professional. There it is. Good face there, CC. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Audio's not coming through. I gotta fix the audio. Did you want to come in? Texas Tony? You gotta send me a message on Discord. All right, let me get the audio going on this. Where is it? Come on. And I'm thirsty. I need to get me some water. Or some tab, I mean. Some tab. All right. I think this audio will work now.
In order to take a real picture of Earth, apparently.
If you've ever been cooking only to realize that your recipe calls for buttermilk and you do not have buttermilk already in your fridge, do not fret.
Fantastic. Oh, and by the way, I couldn't find, here, I don't know if this lighting is very good. I couldn't find any buttermilk anywhere.
Parents of infants and school-age kids are being battered by a wave of shortages. Allie Rogan is back with more on what's missing on store shelves and how it's impacting families.
We have, here in Westchester County, we have a buttermilk shortage. I had to go to 3 different supermarkets in order to find it.
And what we're seeing is sort of this mixed match of pockets of the country where that shortage is more acute.
Makes no sense at all to me.
Other shortages that are happening at the same time, and they're all affecting really sort of the same group of people, right?
Just like the toilet paper. Remember that? That's to wipe your ass.
All you need to make homemade buttermilk is milk and then some kind of acid.
These are what your scientists tell you. Astronauts, military.
Start by pouring 1 cup of milk into a liquid measuring cup. You can use whatever milk that you have on hand, whether it's skim milk or whole milk. Then for every 1 cup of milk that you're using, you'll want to add 1 tablespoon of acid.
Don't people think about this?
Give the milk a quick stir and let it sit at room temperature for about 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, you'll have noticed that the milk has developed these kind of chunky curds.
See, now that's a scientist.
For reference, people, the acid that you add, please be sure that it's not the acid from the 70s or 60s, and also be sure that it's not something like sulfuric acid or nitric acid, please.
That is totally normal and exactly what you're looking for.
Okay, this is toast from a deli.
Driving to store after store after store after store, sending family members to drive to stores, and trying to find it. And I should say that there are families that are able to do that, and there are also low-income families for whom that option is not available. So it really is an untenable situation.
That's like driving, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles in order to find a little container of buttermilk, which I never buy, I never look for, but Westchester County has a shortage of buttermilk.
Add it to pancakes,
Then why are
baked
you
goods,
looking?
or my personal favorite, use it to help you make fried chicken sandwiches.
So that's great. So the entire population of America who have become these fat slobs should just move to Ecuador.
Parents are just kind of cobbling it together.
You'll be 6 or 7 pounds lighter.
Industrial nerd here. This video brought to you by Flurf Paste.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, the wig! The wig! Oh my god. Do you have the wig? Oh my gosh. People, should he wear the wig right now? The wig. I was not expecting that. Oh, that was perfect. All right. All right, here come. All right, Texas Tony, you gotta join me. Texas Troy, sorry, Texas Troy. All right, he sent me a message. Oh, he says I can't tonight. I'm having sweet potato pie and flatbread, and you called me Tony several times. I'm still gonna troll the chat. Yes, all right. Well, I'm gonna just call it, since you're not coming on to defend yourself. You are now Texas Tony. Don't care. That's your new name. All right, well, Industrial Nerd is coming on. Let's see what he's got for us. All right, hold on. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That is so good. Oh, hold on. That is perfect.
It just came in yesterday. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and that's when I did the video. And I yeah, I haven't used a comb in forever. Then I started using one again. I'm like,
oh my gosh, that is so good.
So epic.
Oh my gosh. I won't say who, but I was chatting with a flat earther. And he's like, that poor CC.
Poor CC. Oh man,
Seriously,
he's got the hair.
Flat
though.
earther was
He's got the
embarrassed
hair.
for CC.
So now who's the real winner, CC or CC's wife? Now that's the question.
CC's wife is the real, no matter what, is the loser of all of this.
I feel bad for the poor lady.
Oh. Like the comments in the video that you made are people like, yeah, she was sold a false bill of goods. Whatever bait he was using to get her, he swapped out and replaced with the thing that she's got now, and she's like, oh crap.
Exactly. Now, see, but I don't think it's his wife because he never calls her his wife, always significant other. So I'm not sure like what the story is exactly, but I have my doubts, but I'm curious to find out. So
he likes to play with language in a weird way,
Yeah.
Like he'll use words that he thinks are that the mainstream media have as their official word for something.
Yeah,
so that might, I don't know, maybe it's conjecture, but I don't know. Anyway, let me the CC hair is great. Here, I'm going to do this. You're going to love it, people at home. Look at that. Welcome, Brian Stavely. It's left over from last week. I'll fix it. You're not Brian Stavely. But the name above you says Brian Stavely. I will fix it. It will no longer say Brian Stavely.
Does Brian Stavely have a head of hair like this?
No. No, he doesn't. There it is. But so I fixed it. It now says CC.
Nice. Perfect.
I've never had God. CC on live on video before. Welcome, CC.
Oh, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Chris here from New York, Westchester County. It's about 9:31 p.m. and I'm on live with Tune.
That's awesome.
I got to work on my CC impression, but damn, the hair's so distracting, It almost hides the headphones.
yeah, that's good. Everybody should get a CC wig, and then we could do like a whole CC thing.
I'll put the link in the chat for my CC wig. It's like $20 on Amazon. I was like, yes.
I've gotten a few things. I bought a few things for this. Some of them more than would cost more than. Oh my gosh. I have a lot of magnets sitting around. I got a box of magnets down there.
Oh, really?
Because flat earthers don't understand magnetism. It's all magic to them, So I built. This is the best one though, right? That I've embedded in this ball. So
I remember that one.
Yeah, they're like, it doesn't. Compass don't work on globe. And I show. Well, here it is. Here it is. It works just fine. They're like, nuh-uh.
Now I don't know if you're talking about like refrigerator magnets or like big boy magnets or
neodymium, of course.
The good stuff. I don't know if you have any like visit Lake Titicaca magnets.
That'd be perfect, right? To put on the fridge. Living the Titicaca life. Show us the app on your phone, CC.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm not sure if I have it reinstalled yet. Yeah, no, I don't have it. I can get it back if everybody wants to see the app.
What
gotta find it again. I think it's Dirt's app.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I think.
Yeah, Dirt's app. Yeah.
I paid $3 for it. Damn it.
Justin Franks is on to you. You're not in a car. You're not CC.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need the short bus.
So all right. So who does he drive around?
So the official definition of an ambulette is something that's used to transport people for medical purposes. So I'm not exactly sure who he drives around, but people in need of medical care that is not necessary of paramedics in the vehicle at the same time. So I'm thinking people in wheelchairs because the van is big and open, and maybe other people who can't go from point A to point B by themselves.
Okay.
So special people, maybe. Using that term as a broad term.
Yeah. There's probably not a sensitive way to say this, so that's going to be insensitive. Imagine CC driving around a group of special people that had where their abilities to think were not the strong ones, right? and as insensitive as I'm gonna get, you know what I mean? And let's say that there was an accident somewhere, and then they all got out. They're all over standing on the side of the road. The whole conglomeration of CC and the special people riding in his ambulette. And the cop's down there like, all right, well, I'll go interview these people. Like, all right. Oh, he gets close. He's like, oh, we got some special people here. And he's like, hey, which one of you are in charge? And CC goes, that's you. CC goes,
sorry, dude. I'm in charge. The earth is flat. What are you talking about? Mask? Why are you wearing a mask? What's going on?
He's like, oh, sorry. So you're not in charge. Which one of you are in charge? No? All right. We got a problem here. The driver is not to be found. We've just got a group of special people.
Drivers fled the scene.
Good job. We almost pulled that off on the fly, just making that up on the fly. Almost. I like this. Larry Scott says, a surveyor's perspective. Who's on Mount Rushmore? 3 land surveyors and some guy.
Well, if you watch the Witsit top left video, you'd see.
Yes.
Who was on Mount Rushmore.
There were.
Yes.
And I don't know how they all had an accent that I wasn't expecting.
That was a great video. That was epic.
That was a good
one.
Epic. Stringer News 1 says the towers are proof of the mud floods. Oh my gosh. When Flat Earth isn't dumb enough, they go mud flood.
How did we get dumber? Oh, hey.
And then Flatzoid got it wrong, says, I saw Simon Dan did a video on Santos Bo Jerkface. Is he actually back? Yes. Santos took a break for a while in November, December. So what happened is his right-hand man, Daniel, had been going to Tanzania, specifically Zanzibar, to do research for opening a spa center there, a syncretism center for whatever. And what it was is a vacation paid for by the organization. And he was going there and doing the things that Daniel would be doing. Things that Santos definitely says you're not supposed to do. Things that Santos tries to mock people for doing. No. Weirder.
Oh, I don't have soundboards for that tune, so I can't play those.
Oh, I do have a soundboard. Hold on. Just a second. So, let's see. Do I have that? That's not it. Hold on. I have it. I thought I did. I don't. Santos does say a few things.
This morning, I went to the toilet.
Like that.
Yes.
But I don't have...
You don't have the one where he says no words about his anatomy and other animals? And
no, not that one. That's not the one I was... Well, there's this one.
You know, I want to be a urinator.
Yes.
He's got... No, he thinks, Santos thinks that if you get with somebody else and go to completion, that it is a no-no. You shall not do that, he says. And he actually tried when I had recorded the candid phone call with him, he tried to mock me for being a member of the group of people that does that with other people. I don't know why, right? It's this weird thing. He thinks that, like, if you ever, go to completion, that some essence that you have only a limited supply of, it gets consumed up.
Dude, I love how you have the PG-13 version of things. I'm like, I'm saying it in my head. I'm like, wait, yes, that's what he means, right?
But that's what Daniel is doing. That's what his buddy is doing. And of course, Santos also is a vegan. And he's super strict on that. And he's like, if you're not a vegan, you don't get to go to heaven. Seriously.
Yeah,
Only vegans get to do that. And same thing for alcohol.
Really? I never knew alcohol was a vegan thing. Actually, is that really a vegan thing? Or is that
Alcohol
just
is
a
no.
Santos thing?
That's a Santos thing. If you
Okay,
drink
gotcha. I don't know
alcohol,
if
you
that
will not
combined, okay.
ascend, he says. You cannot ascend. So Daniel and we all look at Daniel, we're like, yeah, Daniel's off partying on the weekends.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hooking up,
Eating
drinking,
meat, drinking alcohol,
doing the devil's lettuce, eating meat. Right? Anyway, so somebody had accused Daniel of doing a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Another one of the goofy syncretists. Like there's this, like how the flat earthers, like they fight amongst themselves. The syncretists do that as well. So a syncretist is a person that invents their own religion as if it is the one true religion. That's what a syncretist is. They'll just pick and choose whatever they feel like and assemble it together.
Add a bit of this and add a bit of that, and kind of like making a stew or a soup or something. You throw it all in, you mix it together, and
it's an Italian cook throwing everything in to make the best spaghetti sauce ever. Then you taste it, and you're like, oh nope, there's some urine in that spaghetti sauce. Nope. By the taste of it, I would say that was aged urine as well. And Santos would be like, "Ha your taste buds do not fool ye."
That's a good buttermilk recipe, actually.
Which actually probably isn't a good thing to use for buttermilk, because I do think that it doesn't create an acid; it instead creates a base. I could be wrong. Yes. What is the pH of the aged urine? A question rarely asked. So anyway,
that's great.
So so in January, November, December, Daniel was traveling and he was going to be back. Well, I haven't seen. I believe it or not, I don't watch all of Santos's videos.
What?
But since he's been back, I've checked a couple, and Daniel is curiously absent in the ones I looked at. So
you're stirring the pot now too. You're getting us all like, oh, where'd Daniel go? What's going on?
So I still have I have a bunch of things that I've put together for a big video on Santos. And I'm still processing how to do it. There's so much. So I don't know. I have many clips of what I like. You could feel 2 hours of clips of him saying the dumbest things ever said.
Yeah,
ever.
More than two, dude. You can go a whole day with that.
And he's been saying dumb stuff for many years, longer than most flat earthers have been saying dumb stuff.
Yeah,
he was not a flat earther. Right, there's lots of videos.
Kind of verged into the flerf community after, oh, hey, this kind of
Tartaria too. Right, every dumb thing he is neck deep in as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, he drinks urine. He does aged urine enemas. He thinks that radio frequency stuff will heal all ailments. He also thinks that radio frequency will kill everybody. He thinks he's about Tartaria.
He's a special nut job.
He thinks the Earth is flat and that there are aliens among us.
Oh.
But the aliens aren't from there. The aliens are from underneath the North Pole, because there's a whole bunch of layers of hell underneath the North Pole, and they've come up through the North Pole portal into our planet to infiltrate us.
Wow, so from the extra territories or the extraterrestrial that's his and Dirth's outside of the ice wall and aliens and things like that, right? Is the extraterrestrial aspect of things.
Yes.
When they're like, oh, extra means outside, and territory, extraterrestrial, that's their big...
Yeah, extraterrestrial is extra Earth, more Earth. They think also that there's more Earth past Antarctica. He's part of that group of flerfs. So we... Doesn't he still have a warrant in Australia? Probably. Because he he drove, I don't know how, he got like 30, 50,000, I don't know, some huge amount of driving fines for driving through tolls. They had automated tolls that would bill you on the way through.
Yeah.
And he never paid, of course, because
I remember
he's better than everybody else. And then they're like, here's a warrant for your arrest. So he left.
I remember a video of him getting like arrested or something like that, like police coming into a house and then taking him under. I don't know. It was like a while ago.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, that's so.
There's a video of him being arrested.
Santos,
all right.
like.
So we've got Leo the alchemist, the alchemist says, "Oh boy, do I have an answer for you. The pH of urine is 4.5, and that's acidic, and aged might make it more basic though, given decomposition. So CC could make buttermilk with fresh urine.
Fresh urine. Nice.
Cooking with CC.
That's great.
So here's an idea. If CC wins top left, you're going to deliver to him his prize, the shirt.
Now that's the intention. So he lives in like this 7-story building. I'm not sure if there's like one of those doormen who have to let you in, or like a buzzer system you have to push and say, "Oh, hi, I'm here to deliver something." So, part of me is thinking like, okay, well, how do I infiltrate, CCHQ, or do I just like parachute down on his roof and then kind of go in through the porch door and surprise? I don't know. I've been pondering.
You know what you could do? You could phone up the company that he drives, and he could come pick you up in his ambulette.
Yes. Actually, I'll look into that. Now, I used to know what it was, and then I think they were like bought out or the name changed or something.
Oh, that'd be so
that'd
good.
be so brilliant. That'd be so brilliant. Like, oh.
All right, but here's the question.
Yeah.
If he wins, does he get a shirt? Or because he likes to cook, should he get a kitchen apron with the top left logo? That's the guy sitting on the edge of flat
apron.
Earth.
Oh, that's an option. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that I think we should put up a poll too.
That's a good question. All right.
That's definitely poll worthy.
If CC wins, which he won't because it's going to be Flatzoid.
Well, Flatzoid, that was an epic video, and I'm scared that you might pull ahead in the next month. So we're at war tune, but
all right. What should he receive as the prize? Shirt or apron? All right, here comes. Plow King says, "Careful, I'm sure CC is packing."
Well, he's one of those people. Well, yeah. Great. Another thing for me to worry about, like, how do I get this to CC, and stay alive afterwards?
He seems like he probably isn't going to just be popping it out. If he
exactly. He seems not too crazy, but crazy enough to do the things he does.
He's a crazy in a certain vertical crazy.
Yeah.
So Texas Tony, after I said I'm going to call him Texas Tony, said, "Low blow, Micktoon. I declare you king of all flurfs and top right." That's not an insult. and that's Micktoon, lol. So there you go. He can't even insult me with an insult.
Micktoon, that's like on the McDonald's menu.
I don't know. Industrial Nerd, drop it on his doorstep, ring the doorbell, and run. But it's not a house. It's an apartment.
Yeah, so I got to go to like the top 7th floor, and I have to ring the buzzer. Somebody let me in, and then I have to. Yeah, those are my thoughts that keep me from sleeping at night.
All right. Well, Hessifer wants the apron. Well, we didn't do it last year, but I will make the the winning. I've already created some of them on Teespring, so whoever wins will have a collection on Teespring for winners for the. See, yeah, you too can join and wear the top left winners shirt for 2023.
Now, Toon, who won last year's?
Last year it was Mitchell from Australia.
Oh, that's right. Now, are those videos still up on your channel or
No,
Craig's channel? Or?
Those videos
back to their
are unlisted. So if you have a link to them, did we unlist them or private them? I think we privated them actually so that voting would stop.
Okay.
But they might be unlisted. But yeah, the point is that they're kind of a one-shot deal.
Yeah.
Right. And I've trickled out some things. I put some of them on TikTok from last year. So, but yeah, you have a month to watch these videos. Some of them are elsewhere. But for the most part, you have a month to watch these videos, and that's it. If you don't go watch it 7,000 times, every one of you, then that's it. You won't.
And don't forget, everybody can vote more than once. Like I voted for Flatzoid, and then I voted for Witsit on FTFE's channel. So I'm like, yeah. So I mean, you can vote more than once.
So a thumbs up is a vote as 10 votes. So that's your powerful vote.
Yes.
So
viewing,
and you can change it.
View all of these. I don't understand. Like how does one person get this many views and the other person not get like they're all great. I mean, you got to at least view them all and then vote with your thumbs up. Then
But you can even change your vote before the deadline. Right? You can go give a thumbs up and say, you know what? CC is great, but I'm going to unthumbs up that, and I'm going to go over to Flatzoid on both MC Toon's channel and Craig's channel, and give a thumbs up to Flatzoid on both of them. There,
give him ideas too.
I'm just throw it as a hypothetical.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hypothetical. Yeah.
Oh dear. Cap Q57 says maybe CC is really hacking, and that's why he still has a wife.
So he learned about Sam's rocks. I knew somebody would pick up on that. Oh, I gotta
I do not want that thought in my head. Thank you for not
that's got to be its own video. Sam's rocks. I don't know. Okay, out of our heads, too. Out of our heads.
Yep. A video song. There should be a song. Sam's rocks. Sam. He likes to think that he's a singer. He's a musician.
Yes,
SOM is Sound of Music. Maybe he could do his own song and a video to go along with it. Of him.
That'd be great.
Dancing. Can you see him dancing? Here's picture the scene. Sam standing outside in some African area, a beautiful vista in the background. Sam is wearing his traditional Zulu garb with a bit of a leafy thing in the front there, down low, just
the leaf cover, yes.
And descending from it is a piece of twine, and on that twine, somewhere around between his knees and calves, is a non-small rock, just hanging there, and then he does his MC Hammer style dance. The back and forth thing, the shoveling sideways with his knees really wide, jumping around a little bit.
Dude, you've given everybody in the chat and listening to this, whether now or in the future, nightmares and a hysterical moment of tranquility. We are all scarred now. Thank you, Toon. Thank you.
I love you, Sam. You're the best. Please do that.
Awesome.
Please do that video so that we can never watch it.
Oh Oh, it hurts. Oh, I haven't left that hurt in a while.
Oh, this is good. Psalm 1 versus MC2, and what he said, Hiroshima on your bald head. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah, we had Rach Bot is scarred for life. Liquid Flame says, can't touch this, who would want to?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, Flat Derp is Flat Derp here. Flat Derp could make that into a cartoon. Are you here? Flat Derp, do it. Do that cartoon. Jiffy Cone says, is it legal to vote for all of them? Of course you can vote for all of them.
On both channels, you can have 8 votes, 8 thumbs ups. You can have 8 times a month, so that many 8 times 30, just that many single votes. You can rack up votes, people.
Yeah, I mean, if you vote for all of them, then it makes no differentiation, right? You have to at least not vote for one in order for that one to get dropped down compared to the others from you, but. Do what you want. I don't care. This is, it's a joke, people. We do it for fun. Take it as seriously as we do. It's Small Time Art says, I'll pay tens of dollars to see that.
Oh, man.
On TikTok, the TikTokers are winning.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, well, that's kind of obvious. I mean, how do the TikTokers not win on TikTok? I mean, I was like, okay, understood.
But the problem is the Flatzoid one on TikTok got flagged for a community violations thing.
Really?
And like YouTube, TikTok doesn't say why. They're just like, you got flagged. Here's a link to our community standards.
Oh,
I didn't break any of them.
Wow.
So I appealed, and they're like, yep. So...
Well, that's weird.
So anyway, so TikTok won't be getting tallying any Flatzoid views.
Oh, wow.
Oh, well. I'm taking it super seriously.
Well, all those millions of Flatzoid TikTok views, tune.
Mute Donkey, I'm starting to think you don't take this seriously. No, I don't. No, I don't. Oh, all right. So, did you see me debate Chris Van Am?
Dude, I'm horrible with names. Was that the one that believed in the flat Earth and had no evidence to
How
it?
did you know?
I'm just a great guesser.
So it might have been, you might not have seen it, but it was when he's from Facebook. He got pushed to debate me from some other trolls, some Facebook trolls that don't debate. They just go around trying to get people angry and then flag them to Facebook to get people's personal accounts like messed up. They'll go to their personal accounts, find their friends and relatives and message them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's who put him up to debating me. And he comes on, he had nothing. And then he was unaware that snow was made of ice. What? And he doubled down on it. Like he kept pressing, trying to mock me for thinking that snow is ice.
What was his explanation? What was it? Recap this, tune, because I'm still what else would snow be made of?
The point was, so flat earthers, that their favorite time to look across a lake is in the winter.
Yeah. When
the lake is frozen. Because when the lake is frozen, as this will, if I ever I need to get it out to a frozen lake soon. This is the the temperature o-meter that you sent me.
Temperature, yes.
That it's really cold near the surface, and the temperature rises pretty quickly as you go up, and so it causes the light to refract very aggressively in compared to other places in the atmosphere. And all you need, for reference, is 1 degree of temperature change Celsius over 10 meters. 10 meters in order to curve with a radius of about 4,000 miles, which is about the radius of the Earth. So 1 degree for 10 meters is all you need to have the light bend at the same rate as the globe Earth. And you can get 1 degree change in 1 meter at the bottom meter of a lake immediately above the water.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll go tomorrow. I better soon, because we won't have
Before
snow
it
much
warms
longer.
up, Tune.
Yeah, it's gonna eventually in Minnesota. It's gonna warm up.
Eventually.
Anyway,
probably
so
on summer.
he flat earthers, when I tell them, well, that's the temperature profile above a frozen lake. They're like, no. I'm like, well, I've stood on a frozen lake. I know what it's like. You can stand there in a t-shirt, and your feet are dying in thick, high quality boots because it's so cold down near your feet. But you're like in a t-shirt. So
True.
Anyway. Oh dear. Okay, so we have the pole. The pole is definitive.
Oh.
Definitive pole. Here we go. Here comes the results. Apron or shirt, he should get an apron, 84%.
We have our answer.
let it be said, let it be done.
See, now we need to really pay some homage to his wife or to his significant other, though. I mean, she's the real star in this. Without her, there would be no CC. He'd just be some idiot on YouTube. But now he's a more popular idiot on YouTube.
So it could be then a CC size yoga pants.
CC and yoga pants. Sorry, my mind.
To go along with the hypothesis that CC is really packing as a gift to her.
As a sleeping bag. Okay. No, but she looks extremely short though. I mean, if you watch the video, her head is at like kitchen microwave height, and that's like, wait, hold on, how tall is kitchen microwave height? And I haven't measured it yet, but that's been an intrusive thought that's been going through my head for a while.
Well, obviously, you'll have to break into his apartment to find out.
I'll get the parachute ready. All I need to do is hire a private plane to drop me over his apartment building and parachute lessons. Shucks.
All right, so this is good. Micah Ray says Flatzoid has declared that a sextant is a triangle with internal angles of 180 degrees. I posted a tweet of a picture of one showing the internal angles are 210 degrees because it's not. Oh my gosh. Can you send me a DM on Twitter? I get entirely too many. There's way too many things I'm mentioned in on Twitter. I knew that somebody had tagged me on something through some other channel, and I'm like, oh, I need to go find what this guy posted. I couldn't find it. I had
Mr. Popular, look at you two.
No, it's just I've interjected myself into several different conversations, and so then people just do a reply, and I'm included in it, and then they add somebody else, and then 2 years later, I'm like, I haven't. That guy that's in this tweet here, I one time 2 years ago replied to one comment, but I'm forever in that conversation.
Yep. I thought it was all the people reaching out to you after watching your OnlyFans.
Nope, not a thing.
Not what Craig says.
Yeah, that's just for Craig. I mean, that doesn't exist. All right. Done. All right. All right, let's see. Stringers one says, "Oh no, not precious bodily fluids again." It's always the waste and the bodily fluids. Oh, why? Why do they think it's Toads in my eyes says I prefer Baphomet's broccoli. What's
Baphomet?
Bahumet's?
Is that like that poutine, but like the African version of how you do it with broccoli or something?
Poutine with broccoli?
The African version, like Sam's version of poutine.
Sam's version of poutine.
Well, they don't have like cheese curds and gravy where Sam is in his place of residence with no power or internet.
I work with a guy from Tanzania, and he was here. We were working with him for a while, and he had to go back because his visa was expiring.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I want to bring this TV back." And we're like, "How are you gonna put the TV on your hut, on the wall of your hut?" He's like, "I don't have a damn it hut. I have a damn it house." He says "damn it" a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, I don't know. Is that a
Well, I like how you put "damn it" before these structures. So you said "damn it hut" instead of "hut damn it."
That's how he talks.
I know that was brilliant.
Absolutely how he damn it talks. So we always talk about his hut. And we're like, "So do people there have shoes?" and it frustrates him because he told us stories about how he went back to the village that his dad grew up in to visit when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And none of the people there wore shoes, and then how afterwards, like, he had, like, in his feet there were, I don't know what, insects living in his feet, and so he had to, like, delouse his feet. I don't know, they're not lice, but he had to put some particularly nasty chemical on his feet to get them off. And so when we're like, "Do people have shoes there?" He's like, "I can't damn it respond." So we have a good time joking around with him. He's the one that has the snake rock.
Oh yes, the snake rock. I remember. Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so Toads in my eyes says I prefer Bahumet's broccoli. That is a euphemism for the devil's lettuce.
Oh, all these euphemisms for lettuce. Damn it, lettuce.
Devil's damn it lettuce. Stringers one, Vladimir Putin.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. Flatsoid got it wrong. Says I feel like a group stream. It might be fun to cosplay as a flirt. Maybe a Halloween special next year. Dibs on Santos. Oh my gosh.
That'd be great. A
cosplay. You already have your uniform.
I'm already ready. Yes, that's why I'm rooting this on.
We just do like a rotating stream. You sign up. The flirt you're gonna be, you gotta somehow get the look going.
Oh,
that's a great idea.
That's brilliant.
Great idea. Oh, all right. Hessifer wants the apron for $5. Cretan Bull says for $5.50 Canadian. Cece's wife is exactly like Jeff Garland's wife Susie on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I haven't watched that enough to get the reference.
I know, neither have I. I'm trying to recount my memory. I'm like, wait, hold on, that's the wait.
Seriously. We watch Psych and Monk. Have you watched them?
I haven't seen Psych, and I watched a couple of Monk, but that was like many moons ago.
So here, let me explain this. On Psych, it's a murder show. A police detective murder show where there's a detective hired by the police force to solve murders, and the guy that's hired is quirky. But in Monk, it's a murder mystery thing where the police department hires a detective to solve murder mysteries, and the guy is quirky. So it's basically the same show. Right?
This is the same thing, more or less. Yeah.
Drastically different shows. But when you put it that way, it's the same plot.
It's exactly.
Many Karen says it's Chris from Worcestershire County. Look, we have to give it to the Flurfs this one time. Their model of Chris does work better.
No, shucks. No, I want to know what the correct pronunciation of Worcestershire or Worcestershire or however you pronounce it. I've heard people say so many different things. I'm like, I'm just gonna give up, start with a W, mumble, and then say Shire at the end. So Worcestershire.
I have heard
Pronunciation.
Could be completely wrong. I've heard Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
But it's definitely
Somewhat.
looks like Worcestershire. But it could be worse though, because if it was French, the French don't pronounce the last random number of letters in each word.
Yeah.
It would just be w. Just w. The rest of the letters don't exist.
Now, Toon, weren't you learning French? Wasn't there that flerfer on not too long ago where you said you were going to learn French? The guy with the Canadian dude, the French Canadian dude, who had all that evidence and proofs.
That one.
Yeah,
the flat earther with all the evidence and no.
Yeah, evidence and proof of a glober.
Drawn a blank on a flat earther with evidence.
The one with the Montreal hat, the baseball team.
With the strong accent.
Yeah, with the strong accent. Yeah. I thought you were going to learn French.
I
remember you saying. I remember something going on with you learning French.
Yeah, and he's so into hockey. I said Minnesota North Stars, and he gave me a 5-minute history of the Minnesota North Stars. Like, don't really care. What of all of the information in the world to have, that information is the information I did not want in my brain, taking up space. Kevin, with a Q. Kevin. Toads in my eyes says Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
I don't know. You could ask a Brit. You could ask a Brit.
That's a good idea.
I could. Steve6464 says I could host a debate on how to pronounce Worcestershire sauce. I like when Kevin Ashton Richards says I like when Kevin was on, had his neighbor on, who basically confirmed he was scientifically illiterate. Yes. And the new flirfs that show up, it's like they're unaware that we've heard all of the things that they're about to say. They're like, there's a high balloon and it flat. Like, oh, yeah. Do you have the full video, or just the 4 seconds that you saw that where the barrel distortion caused the curved horizon to look flat? Just that part? That's it?
There's essentially nothing new anymore. I don't know. I mean,
anymore,
as far as arguments, it's just copy and pasted.
Every once in a while, someone comes up with something new. Sam is really good at coming up with new stuff. Space viruses?
Yeah.
Space viruses. Seriously.
That was.
What an absolute genius. You see, Sam is a genius among flerfkin.
So now, Sam said something that I actually think I can almost buy, or at least post-style buy it, right? He said gravity is, he assimilated gravity and conductance. So I think the semi-provable theory is that, okay, mass can conduct gravity in loose and open terms without specifically defining the term conduct.
Say it again.
So mass conducts gravity. That's what Sam was getting into, I think, on number 2 when he popped in. I think that's before the rap battle. But if we loosely define some key terms, I think we can actually prove that statement. Maybe.
That it conducts gravity. That's a stretch, but I'll give you this. You can use Gauss's law for electrostatics, for magnetism, and for gravity. Gauss's law for gravity is similar to the others.
True, but just using those terms, how he put that together, I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense, but we can loosely define things to maybe almost make sense with what he said. So hopefully by the next time you have Sam on, I'll make up something that sounds intelligent.
That'll be good. Well, he's going to be talking about relativity. Gravity often is included in that. All right,
Sam's law.
Oh my gosh. Small time art says Worcestershire, which is, I think, kind of how I was saying it. Helmeden says, I always call it Worcestershire or Worcestershire. And you got, it's all over the place. Captain Cardinal says, I think it's pronounced Worcester. String News 1 for $5 says, leave it to the English to not pronounce parts of Worcestershire and then add syllables to aluminum.
You mean aluminium?
That's right. That's what they say. Silly.
I've heard so many different versions of word. I don't even know how to say it anymore.
Doesn't matter.
I just
yeah, there's so many. Everybody's chiming in on their version of it.
and it's hard to spell things phonetically, so they could all be saying it the same way, except the way we're reading it and interpreting it is completely different than what they're actually trying to get across. But
all right, I'm going to try to get Sam. It's been long enough.
Nice.
Right. Einstein needed only 10 years to go from special relativity to general relativity, but Sam, being the genius that he is,
yes,
he only needs a month.
Only needs a month, and
think about that. The absolute misplaced hubris of Whitsitt to, let me make this. Einstein published his, what we call special relativity, in 1905. And then he published his paper on general relativity in 1915. Then in 1916, he published a book for the general population to read called Relativity, the General and Special Theory, or something similar to that. So Whitsitt has been reading the book meant for popular reading and saying, according to relativity, blah, blah, blah. That is not relativity. That is the book written by Einstein about how he figured out relativity.
Yes.
Whitsitt doesn't even know that he's not reading the paper on relativity. Because there's a smattering of math in there. Right? I don't know. I haven't looked through it enough to know, but I don't think that he actually has his field equations and the whole application of them in that particular publication. I can't say for certain though. But certainly he does have that in the actual publication of relativity from 1915. The one he's reading from 1916, the popular,
the general public version of the dumbed down. Here's an physicists.
Yeah, here's an equation: square root of -1. Whitsitt looks like that and is like, "Oh, magic!
I understand relativity."
I think I have the book. There it is. There it is. Relativity, the special and general theory. So it's not too big, 150 pages here. But I mean, look, there's an equation, right? Right there. And, one equation, ds squared equals g, is that, I don't know, u dx1 dxk, I don't know, something like that. And I love getting used books, by the way, because you get these little things and it's hard to read. It's in pencil. You get these little things in the margin for free.
The notes. So you get the notes.
I love used books.
Surprise notes.
I've gotten books where like the person who owned it put their name on it, and then it says it's Bob
Spencer. Maybe
it looks like SNOPL. It's probably not right. Let's call him Bob Snope. But yeah, Bob something. Like, and then I looked them up, like on Facebook.
Like, hey, got your book. Glad to see you.
No. So I got a book by Richard Feynman.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the same thing. It had the person's name. And it looked to me, after paging through it a little bit, that it was a book for school. And so then I looked up this person, and she was like a PhD. Now, this is years later from when she had the book. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. This was potentially a school book that this PhD was using. All right, so here's some more. Oh, we even have some bonus pencil drawn stuff from Bob Snope. There it is. So this is not Einstein's field equations, but we've got the Lorentz transform here, and then we've got a question mark next to it. Bob didn't know what that was. Anyway, so this is what Whitsitt read. This is not the theory of relativity. This is a book called Relativity, the Special and General Theory.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks this is relativity. So when he's like, according to relativity, blah, blah, this is all that he's looked at.
Yeah.
And not all of it, just piecemeal. Oh, poor Whitsitt. Stealth KLR 101, Stealth Killer 101, maybe, says, ask Mr. Lost, has he found Gravity Island yet? So Mr. Lost Knowledge, or Mr. No Knowledge, he's... And I'm not pulling any punches, by the way,
Okay.
People. So if you're wondering later, if it gets hot and I dig into them, it's my plan.
Wait, is that the next guy you got onto?
Yeah.
I'm so good. Okay. I was lost. I like, wait, hold on. Did I miss something here? I feel left out. And the reason why is because he messaged me on Instagram talking trash. And trying to be all tough, and I'm like, I'm not. Whatever, you want to debate, fine. And so it was arranged for tonight at 8:00, and you'll notice that I'm not currently talking to him. So a little bit ago, he's like, it's going to be at 10. He just told me that. We had already agreed on 8. He could have said, hey, 8 doesn't work. Do you mind if we move it to 10? Like a decent guy. And I'm like, why? Are you trying to shake me off? And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll send you the Zoom link. He's like, no, it'll be a TikTok. Like, are you trying to shake me off? I actually asked him that. He's trying to shake me off. And he's just an absolute jerk. Like, you could have just the tiniest little bit of decorum, but no. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna play soft with you. So we'll see what happens. He doesn't. Nice.
So many things he doesn't understand.
Well, I mean, can't you say that about every single
Yeah, but they all have like specific verticals that they work
Yeah, true.
harder to not understand.
True. Yes.
So his particular vertical is that he doesn't understand the difference, understand how something in space in the thermal sphere can have a particular temperature, many thousands of degrees, and not melt aluminum satellites. He completely misunderstands that it is a, extremely low pressure area. There aren't many particles of this particular temperature kicking around to increase the temperature.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand conduction. That's it. He doesn't understand conduction. So he's like, the magnetosphere is 60,000 degrees, of course, Fahrenheit.
How come aluminum isn't melting?
Because Flurfs think science is done in Fahrenheit. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that.
Flurfenheit.
So I'm like, all right, fine. I don't care. I mean, I set up to do live streams on TikTok a while ago, so I might as well do it again. So the one next week with Chris Van Am will be on TikTok as well. So yeah, so I get my phone, and then so here's a little behind the scenes. I have this. This is what the phone sits on.
A phone holder. Look at that. Tune's moving up in the world.
Hold on. Tell you what, I'll do one better. I'll give you this. Hold on. You're gonna that no good there. Do this. There it is. Okay. So, all right, you're not going to see it. I'm going to show it to the people at home.
Gotcha.
There it is. There's my desk. There's my microphone. This is the sound deadening foam. And then this is right here. This is my book, Karl Popper book. I need a little space. The phone goes on here. Ready? Right there like that. And so that's where the phone will sit. So there you go. There's your behind the scenes. How it'll be, and then I have it. It sends it to my computer over the air over Wi-Fi, and then I pick it up and I throw it into and it uses my microphone and my my new earbuds. Look at these new earbuds.
Wow, look at that.
So fancy. Yeah, I mean, they're not the $10,000 speakers that Nathan Oakley has. Yeah, they are $40 earbuds. I'm hoping to get 4 years out of them. So
nice.
Hopefully I can get $10 a year, less than $1 a month. That's my target budget.
Investment, yup.
Yeah, he did I love this. Oakley did a fundraiser. So I did the $10,000 Celestial Navigation Challenge.
Yeah.
A year ago Friday. Friday is the 1 year anniversary.
Oh wow, it's been a whole year.
And shortly after that, he started a fundraiser to fix his speaker because one of his high-end speakers broke, and it was thousands of dollars to repair it. And I'm like, oh, you could just do Celestial Navigation.
That's great. That's great. That's a flaunt right there. That's great.
Micro Ray says, so ask Witsit, do you mean Mr. Lost Knowledge? If water burns flesh at 140 Fahrenheit, why doesn't a sauna burn flesh at 150 to 175 Fahrenheit? Maybe that will help him understand the thermosphere. Yeah, I don't think that'll help. He's not. Blurfs are not teachable.
The whole understanding part is kind of the part that they miss. Yeah,
because
they just listen and repeat, and yeah.
I've it's the anti-scientific method. They select the conclusion. That's step one. Step two is search hard for things that sort of, kind of, almost, but not really support their conclusion.
Go along with it,
Step three is ignore everything that doesn't match. You can lie about it. You can ignore it. You can pretend it doesn't exist. You can do the Flurf reset and not remember that it happened. Or you can just pull out the common nuh-uh.
No.
Or say, did you do it yourself? That's another one.
Yeah.
And then number 4, they declare that their pre-selected conclusion has been undeniably proven.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah. Did you do it? Wait, you just showed me 5 minutes ago. You just showed me a video that somebody else did.
Exactly. And now
As
you're getting
your,
scrutinized because
as your,
you
and
didn't.
you claimed that you not only did you say, "Hey, here's something that supports my," you said it was proof. You use that word, the absolute certain word for which there is no refutation,
Exactly.
and you didn't do it. Yet somehow you're demanding that I do my. Right? Love it.
I know, right?
All right. So, all right. Have you listened to the podcast that you were not on yet? The other one, the
No, not yet.
yeah, there was
season 1.
So season 1. So you were at episode 0,
Yeah,
and then I did 3 that were older debates, just so I could have a backlog to start.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
And
I didn't
then,
get up to season 1 yet, though.
And then episode 4, which is the 5th one, 0,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is with Eric Burns. Oh, you were there. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait, hold on.
You were there.
What I missed?
Oh my gosh. I'm talking. I'm talking with a couple other people about recording them, so
Yeah, no, yeah.
trying to get stuff. Anyway, so yeah, have you at least looked at that one? I mean, you're in it, so I mean, you kind of know.
Yes.
All
I
the
did
spoilers
look
have
at
been
that one.
spoiled.
Yeah, I know everything that goes on in that one, and some behind the scenes.
Apparently,
stuff,
I don't know.
When we talked about NASA and the moon base, and oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, that was good. The details he gave about how to measure the distances to the stars was really good.
I learned a lot in that one, and I learned a lot of new thing. I was like, wow, okay, this is actually pretty brilliant. It was easy enough to kind of like pick up, but like I'm not 100% there, but I'm like, that was a lot closer. I understand it a lot better now. I'm still not like a pro, like, but I can like, okay, that makes sense, and I kind of get it. But
he did a good job of making it, I thought, understandable to people that don't that didn't take the class with him.
Astronomy for dummies.
Yeah, is that what you're labeling yourself?
Oh yes. In this instance, I am not an astronomer. I do not. I mean, I can basic math, trigonometry, but when it comes to all that kinky crazy stuff they do with the spectroscopy outside of a container, that stuff is like, wow, that stuff's cool, and all the charts and graphs, and I'm like, that makes sense. That's cool pictures. I like pictures, so I enjoyed that.
All right. OG2 says Jin CBR1 sent me. Jin sent you, really? Do you know Jin? I'm sorry if you know him. He's so. Have you seen Jin? You got to go watch Jin if you haven't seen Jin.
I think I saw Jin once on. It was recently though. You had Jin on recently, or was this?
It was last year.
Yeah, okay. I remember someone had Jin on. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember hearing that name.
Yeah.
He's the one with the proof of the globe Earth, right?
Yes. All right. Judy, you got this. Says I need to check out Professor Nobody's comment. So Professor Nobody on Judy's recommendation alone, I'll read it. Says you should do an animated show like the Smurfs, but call them the Flurfs. Papa Flurf, Brainy Flurf, of course, there is none. Hefty Flurf, Flurfette, and they all live in a Flurf village, taking on the evil Globamel.
Globamel, that's a good one.
You're welcome. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's great, actually.
Oh, somebody
that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I can't do that, but it'd be great for what's the guy that does I can't remember his name. The guy that does cartoons.
Oh yeah, that guy with the cartoon.
That guy with the cartoons. Oh my gosh. Is Jin here? Jin is the Flurf sensei in Japan or something. Yeah, he wants to be the Japanese Papa Flurf. Flatter. His name's Flatter. Thank you, Zumi. Brainy Flurb could be that grid girlfriend that lives in Canada that no one has seen. Yes. Do you remember that kid in school who had the girlfriend that lived in a different town?
Yes.
And she was a model. And you're like, hey, can I see a picture? And the guy's like, oh yeah, here you go. And it's a page from a magazine that he ripped out the picture. And he's like, here's a picture of her. Like, that's from a magazine. Well, yeah, I said she's a model. Well, but do you have a picture of you with her? Oh, no, her modeling contract doesn't allow. Oh, really? Interesting. Well, how did you meet her? Well, I was out walking around one day and I saw a girl that was being attacked by some mean guys. And so I ran up and I said, hey guys, leave her alone. And I saved her. And she's like, oh, will you be my boyfriend? And that's the story of the brainy Flurf that nobody's ever seen, lives in a different town. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
You did that so great. Like I can picture it. Your mocking of the situation was just epic. Like that was like, yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about. Oh my gosh. Oh my
It wasn't Biff and his friends. I did channel Marty McFly's dad in that saving scene that I did there.
Oh, it hurts to laugh too.
Boiling 3 Flurfs can turn gold into lead, says John Sensiby.
Is that the alchemist we just had a super chat from?
I don't know.
Somebody else.
I
Sounds
would
like alchemy to me.
I would not want that water that they were boiled in to ever come in contact with human flesh again.
Well, what's the acidity of that water? That's the question.
Why is the acidity the same as urine? 4.5.
Perfect for buttermilk. Jesus.
If Santos wasn't a vegan, that would be how he made buttermilk. Oh my god. It's Flurf. Flurf buttermilk. Oh, that's the best. Welcome, Nate. Nate is a new member. You signed on to this, Nate. Welcome to this. Yes. Oh, somebody needs to be Nathan in a duck suit for the Flurf cosplay stream. That's so good. We have to do that. We have to do the Flurf cosplay.
That's brilliant.
With Charlie Welch. Oh no, gross. Gross. I'm not gonna read that. I'll let you read that, people. And Earthrise is just getting up, just getting up to where I needed to know Fletderp's name. Earthrise playing 2x speed to catch up.
Hurry.
Oh my gosh. That's Brenda says, leave Brainy Flurf alone. There's no Brainy Flurf to leave alone. Like, Dearth said that Witsit was the math guy.
Oh.
He said that. Those
Oh.
words came out of Dirth's face hole. That Whitsitt is the math guy. Whitsitt can't do math. I've also heard people say that Marty Leeds is the Flurf math guy, but he's not either. He's the Flurf numerology guy.
Numbers, just numbers.
like,
That's all math is.
oh,
Just numbers.
There's 88 bones. There's 88 bones in the human body and 88
42
bones.
phalanges on your hands.
88 bones, 88 keys on the keyboard. Therefore, Earth is flat.
Oh, and pi is not 3.14. It's 3.15 because yeah, that guy. I remember him.
Yes. Somebody messaged me on Facebook like, "Hey, I like your flat Earth debunking videos. Look at this one." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's about so he was a fan of this guy that thinks that pi is not what everybody else thinks it is. And I'm like, He's like, "You should do a video debunking it." But he's actually a fan of it. Right? So he's just trying to drum up some support by me debunking them. I think. I don't know. I mean, the guy's nice enough, right? But I'm like, I don't care.
Wait, anti-pi debunking. That sounds like an interesting.
Yeah, I can't care that much, right? I'll just say, yeah, 3.1415 works. So I'm just gonna stick with that for now.
That's one of those Mandela effects, tune.
I don't know. All this talk we talked about sweet potato pie. I should have made sweet potato pie for last Tuesday because it was Pie Day.
Yes. No, wait. So you're saying you don't eat it with marshmallows? Like, because I'm not sure if people think it's
right.
actually like in like a pie, like with a pie crust, but like I don't know. It's always like in this like casserole dish for me, and it's always got marshmallows on top, and there's no actual like pie crust. I don't know.
I'll go through the whole thing.
42% or whoever was. Go ahead. I'll shut up.
Many Karen. Yes, I'll get to that in a second. I'll say it actually right now. Many Karen says Worcestershire. It's pronounced Worcestershire, and I'm not even a native speaker. People are all over the place. Captain Red Bull is a new member at Einstein. Thank you very much. Okay. My family growing up made sweet potato casserole on Thanksgiving that had sweet potatoes and marshmallows on top, and they were dry. And I generally did not eat them.
Dry?
They were dry. I don't know. I tried them once and then I'm like, pass. Nah. And everybody else is like, yay, I'll have it. Like, whatever. And maybe it was good. I just didn't like it. And so I just passed it by. And then my wife makes it in as a casserole style. If you don't know what a casserole is, it's in a dish. You bake it in the oven. If it's in a dish, that's a casserole. Do you have casseroles there? It's definitely in the Midwest. Anyway, and it does not have marshmallows on it, and it's not so dry, and I like it, and it's not as sweet. I think part of it, like dry and sweet, I don't know.
Yeah.
But sweet potato pie looks like pumpkin pie. It's in a pie dish. It's got a pie crust. It's similar color. It's a little darker, maybe. I don't know. I'm colorblind, so I don't know. It tastes pretty similar, but it's a little sweeter generally than pumpkin pie, I think. So, and then the spices are a little different. So there you go.
Does the pie taste like the casserole, except it's just in pie form?
Yeah, kind of. It's so the pie has egg, sugar, pureed all together with the potato.
Okay.
Some of the time the casserole version is just chopped up and put into a pie dish. Sometimes it's pureed and smeared into a dish. When it's pureed and smeared in, it's pretty similar, but it's not the custard that a pie does, because the custard has an egg in it, right?
Yeah.
And the spices, it doesn't have as many spices in it. So the pie is better. It's got the good spices.
Yeah.
So
The cinnamon, the little pinch of nutmeg, and the
cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, mace, as I mentioned before.
Yep.
Yep. What else? Ginger. I can almost make it from memory. So, yeah, about 15 minutes to the next one. Plow King says, Plow King. What is it? Plow King, that's my name. No, Mr. Plow. I'm Mr. Plow. That's my name. My name again is Mr. Plow. KL5 Plow. Something like that from The Simpsons. Plow King says, what's your favorite hot dish? So let me tell you, we had a potluck that we went to this weekend. And the instructions were something along the lines of bring something that's like something you normally do that matches your heritage. Like, we eat Mexican food, Chinese food. Like, we don't eat what hamburgers? We're not gonna bring a pile of hamburgers to a potluck. So I'm like, I go, let's make tater tot hot dish. And my wife's like, sure. so and I'm like, I gotta go to the store to buy some tots, and I get cream of mushroom soup and some other stuff, and then we're making it. And it's like, what do we put on it? Well, we put some cayenne pepper on it because we like spicy food. And like, this Midwestern Minnesotans are gonna eat that and be like, oofda, that's a spicy hot dish. Right. Oh, that one's hot. Anyway. I didn't know that get you on that one. Anyway, anyway, and we're like, she's like, I've made tater tot hot dish 3 times in my life, right? We don't eat. We're not casserole eaters. My mom was like, it was goulash. Like, she had 3 recipes. It was goulash, spaghetti, and chili. And how you make goulash, spaghetti, chili is tomato sauce, tomato paste, water, hamburger, and then noodles or kidney beans, or put it on noodles or a chili powder, right? And then this one you put on noodles separately. But the goulash, you mix it in, and our goulash wasn't soupy. It was thick. That's it. That was the one. That's what she had. It was really just one recipe.
That he just mixed and matched different. Yeah, that's great.
And when I first brought home chips and salsa, they're like, what is this? I'm like, I found this new Mexican restaurant. It's called Taco Bell. It's amazing. Not quite Midwestern enough. Anyway. I see one of oh, it was deleted. One of Queefy's, QNFEE, Queefy's.
Queefy.
Yeah, one of Queefy's minions, or probably sock accounts, is in here saying, you should defend yourself against Queefy's latest vid putting your foot in the mouth regarding spherical excess. You misspelled excess. He spelled it access with an A. ACCESS. It's excess. EX.
Wait, Microsoft Access? What's going on?
Oh my gosh. And there is a product called Microsoft Access. Anyway. No. There is no need to defend anything against anything that Queefy ever does. Queefy is an embarrassment to the flerfkin. There is nothing that needs to be said other than to point and laugh at how incredibly stupid Queefy is. There's no need to defend it. It's just something to be laughed at. He's been in here all night saying he won the war. The war is done live right here. So it would be me and Queefy instead of CC. CC from Wish.com.
Yes, the Wish.com version of CC.
See, CC, if CC wanted to go to war with me, Queefy would be right there with his ugly face on the screen instead of that ugly face on the screen. So yeah, Queefy, and then Tahuti Thoth is another one of his maybe sock accounts. Or maybe minions. Again, you aren't in this other side on the other side of the screen here. The battle has not yet been engaged. So maybe he meant Spherical XL.
If you combine access and Excel, then you get excess. Apparently,
maybe he meant Spherical.
Some flawed logic.
Spherical Fox Pro.
Fox Pro.
I have written code for Fox Pro.
Oh,
we had
deep.
at a place I used to work had some old code that still ran Fox Pro, and one day they're like, "Yeah, wait, we need you to fix this." Like, Fox Pro. How am I going to run Fox Pro on my Mac? They're like, here's a Windows computer. I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I don't do Windows.
I can't believe you're anti-Windows. I'm anti-Mac. You're anti-Windows. I don't. Well, you know.
I have always preferred Mac, and so when the days of installing NT4 Surface Pack 3 as quickly as possible was done on a desk next to my Mac. So, you know,
next to the Mac.
there was a short time where I actually had as my main desktop a Windows computer.
What was the OS?
What was it? It was pre-XP.
Pre-XP? Okay.
It was not 98. It was not ME. Did it go XP, or sorry, NT and then XP in the OS2 derivative? Oh, I don't remember. But there was, all right, so it might have, all right, I can't say for sure which one it was. I thought it was an NT variant.
Okay.
But after that, I was given a laptop that had ME on it. Windows ME.
Ooh.
That didn't last long. I'm like, hey, there's this Linux machine here. Can I use that? They're like, it's just sitting there. Go ahead. So I'm like, laptop to the side, firing up the Linux. I'm doing my programming in Emacs.
Nice. I just got me a Raspberry Pi. I'm gonna start playing around with.
Oh, very nice.
I got some ideas. I don't know what ideas, but I don't know. I'm like, let me get one of these and play around with it for a little bit. But
I have one here. I tested a DNS on it, a DNS black hole for spam protection.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like, people are like, this is the wave of the future for DNS. You know, DNS spam protection. All the DNS queries to spammy websites will get black holed. Like, okay, it didn't work. It didn't work.
I got mine as my Pi Day gift to myself. That was why I have my Raspberry Pi.
Very nice. All right, many Karen. Yeah, so yeah, Windows NT 3.5, which I used, and 4 were around Win 95 and 98. Yeah, it was 95, 98 ME, but was it NT 3540 XP? No, 2000. Windows
yes,
2000.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
That was
yes,
it.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so I
yes.
used Windows 2000 as my desktop for a while. And then I got that laptop. It was at a different job that was running ME. I'm like, no ME, Linux, please. And then after a bit, I'm like, all right, time to get a Mac. They're like, oh yeah, here, go ahead. So
Max.
I mean, it's Linux. It's not Linux. It's Unix underneath. I mean, so I'm sitting in the command line all day. So
Yeah, doing your thing.
all right. Well, I have less than 5 minutes until the next one starts, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up here. I'll say thank you to Captain Red Bull, who's a new member at Einstein. Did I mention that already? Thank you, Captain Red Bull. I will. I'll update my the scroll going across the bottom here, and I know that there's one in here twice. Rev Rockstar, I think, is in here twice, so I'll have to fix that. So, people, thank you very much. And I usually use something else other than FTFE. I change his name. People don't notice it. Maybe they do and don't say anything. That's a little Easter egg for you.
Oh, Easter eggs. Oh.
I do like some Easter eggs. Fa of the QTube family says Windows ME malfunctioning error. It was a terrible OS.
So true. So true.
Terrible. There it is. Yeah. 35, 351, 40, 2000, XP Vista, 78, 81, 10, and 11. Microsoft has a problem with counting. You know, I mean, you had the
Numbers.
Xbox,
Numerology.
Xbox 360, and then Xbox One. All right, people. Thank you very much. Be looking out for the next one here in just a little bit, where I will be debating Mr. Lost Knowledge on TikTok.
Oof.
CC. Thank you very much to CC for joining.
Thank you, Tim. Everybody push the like button. I almost forgot. So push the like button. Do it now.
Right.
Now.
All right, we'll see you later. Oh, it didn't work. The outro didn't work. It always does that. Almost always does that.
Shucks.
Shucks. So it freezes then. What happens? Like the disc is like, where'd it go? I don't know. They're going to hear me talking in just a second because there it picked up again. Right. The outro video.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but all right. In a second here, as soon as it levels out, I'm going to say right at 6,000 kilobits per second. Come on. Get up. It's at 8,000 now. It's catching up. It's working hard. And there it is. All right. Hopefully it works this time. We'll see.
And
it worked that time. Yay!
I love the outro music.
All right. We'll see everybody.